Hey, welcome to the Dirt Rally 2 anniversary stream. We got the Codemasters Community team here. We recently celebrated the Dirt Rally 2 first anniversary and thought it'd be a good idea to do a little live stream.
Yeah.
Test out the new live stream room we've got. So I'll let everyone introduce themselves, starting with Chris.
Yeah, so I'm Chris. You may have bumped into me on some of the forums and social channels. So I've been previously working on like Grid and F1 Mobile Racing. You may have seen me on some F1 Mobile Racing streams in the past. And yeah, we're working on all kinds of projects at the moment. But yeah, it's kind of cool to be in our brand new streaming room with lots of cool memorabilia that sort of takes you back a little bit to some of the stuff we worked on. But yeah, so I'm Chris. Jenny?
So I'm Jenny. Some of you will see me from our F1 live streams. I'm the social and community manager for the F1 franchise. So yeah, very happy to be in this new streaming room. I don't know if you can look around, if you can see some of the stuff behind us, but it's all very cool, and we'll be very happy to kind of get.
Well, just get people acquainted with it.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, we need to get as acquainted with it as anybody else.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see more, like we can probably do some like behind the scenes photos and videos, like if you're that interested. I mean, it's taken a few weeks to get this set up actually now. So
yeah, but it's really cool, and it's part of our sort of efforts to like create more sort of cool content for you guys to sort of experience and get to know us a little better and just have a bit of fun, really, just playing some games like we will today. So.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And I'm James. I'm the social and community manager for Codemasters brand channels. So anything from like Codemasters that you see, that's me posting them, and also moved on to Grid recently as well. So taken over from Chris, and you'll see some upcoming stuff with Grid as well. Moving into the year, we just recently released season 2 as well. So if you guys have played that or haven't had a chance to play it, give it a go. But yeah, that's not what we're here for today. We're here for the Dirt Rally 2. So we've got a few things we want to test out.
Yeah.
One of those being, we're gonna do a little competition, trial, shall we say, a time trial. And Chris has already kind of set up some.
Yeah, well, so we're gonna run a bit of a time trial challenge basically across different aspects of the game. So I've looked through a lot of the content that's been released through Dirt Rally since its launch, which is a lot, and picked out a few stages and locations and classes to sort of try out and basically lay down markers for each other to see what we can beat and put some times on the global leaderboard. So we're going to go some rally stages, a bit of Rallycross towards the end.
Bit of everything.
Yeah, a bit of everything. We'll start with us three, and halfway through we're just going to have a quick break and bring in PJ, who's off camera and sort of who's the Dirt Rally virtuoso, and you'll see that he'll put us all to shame.
Massively. Massively.
Yeah.
Can we just predict that now?
Yeah.
It will
There's no prediction needed, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
All to shame.
It's a safe bet. But yeah, so we're really looking forward to just playing a few bits of the game. We've all had a little bit of practice just to make sure we've got our eye in.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, so yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So, but yeah, sort of before I guess we get running, it'll be great to sort of talk about people's different experiences and thoughts on Dirt Rally 2 and the Dirt Rally franchise since we've launched it, really. Because I don't know about you guys, but from my perspective, it's been really cool to see this game it was one of the first games since I joined the company a couple of years ago, about 18 months ago, that you see from inception to announcement and then through everything that you create up until launch and beyond, because of just how much content we brought to this game since it launched. So I remember, it's a weird one, but I remember how we did the sort of the teaser sort of stuff before we announced Dirt Rally 2 officially, and we got a lot of our partners and personalities and names within the racing world and the rally racing world to just like tweet out like 2.0 and sort of begin the sort of messaging around that. And I remember being in an airport I think I was at Birmingham Airport, so I was flying out to meet some of our colleagues, and just seeing like the timeline just suddenly just fill out with everybody saying 2.0, 2.0, and everybody's like, oh my god, what's happening? Yeah,
and the headlights as well. Don't forget the headlights.
Yeah, that's
so I don't know if you saw that the 2.0 in the headlights.
That was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a bit of very subtle. Some people didn't get it. Some people spotted it straight away. Some people really didn't get it.
That's what a teaser's all about, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, it's been really cool seeing it come all the way through that process, and the long-term enjoyment that people seem to get out of this game, and the way that it has so much like replayability and challenge to it. It's just been really cool. I don't know about you guys from what you've seen, but yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly new to the series. I'll be honest. Like the first memories of rally games were Codemasters games. They were like on the PlayStation 1. It's probably Colin McRae Rally 2 was probably the first one I played. But I've always liked rally games. Like there are a few like different rally games that I've always kind of dipped into like now and again. Probably more the arcadey ones. So coming into this, and I've not played an awful lot of Rally 2, but Dirt Rally 2.0. But obviously, there's a massive difference between that and something like maybe Sega Rally or our earlier PlayStation games.
Yeah.
So but it's really enjoyable, and also it's super rewarding to do well in this game. Like after you kind of like nail it and you start taking off seconds from your lap times, it's super enjoyable.
The competitiveness within our community.
Yeah.
That to shave those tenths of a second off, to be at the top of the leaderboards, to do those massive weekly and monthly challenges that just take up so much time. It's like that's awesome to see the amount of dedication that our players put into it.
It's super infectious as well. Like, you see people doing it, you're like, oh god, you're doing that.
So we're going to do a little bit of it today, I guess.
Yeah, let's load it up.
Between us four.
We'll begin with us three, and so I've sort of suggested that the first one we sort of take a look at is Greece. So if we just switch over into some gameplay for you guys now. So so Greece is. I'm being slightly biased. Well, I'm sort of setting up this event slightly biased in my favour, I must admit, because I love Greece. It's one of my favourite stages. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed it in previous rally games as well. So I'm just a massive fan of that sort of gravel stages and the undulation and how a lot of the hairpins that are built into it. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of that. So I've picked out a Greece rally stage, not too short, not too long, that we can have a go at. So let's set up a bit of a stage here. We also, for our first setup, we're going to use the R5 class, which is a really, really cool class. There's a lot of power in there, 4-wheel drive cars, very, very quite easy to get to grips with very quickly, but there's challenge because of the pace in the car. So we'll use the Ford Fiesta R5, I think, to start with, which, by the way, as we know, was driven by our good friend and colleague John Armstrong, professional rally driver virtuoso, who competed in the Galway Rally. I think it was like late last year, kind of around the time that Dirt Rally 2 launched. So not when it launched, but sort of around that time, and did extremely well.
Neat.
Yeah, so let's kick off with that one. I think with his livery and everything, the official Dirt Rally 2 livery. That's actually that's probably one of my favourite memories from the entire sort of process of Dirt, was seeing that real world Dirt Rally 2.0 livery being raced in a rally. It was super cool.
It's a bit surreal actually as well, like seeing that's a proper blend of the real versus like
the kind of real and game, and it's the same thing.
Completely blurring together.
And of course, if you've been watching a lot of our Dirt Rally streams, you'd have seen John Armstrong work on a lot of our projects, a lot of our games. He's a consultant and a designer on so many aspects of the game and making sure it feels true to life and whilst remaining still exhilarating and enjoyable to play. So he's competing in lots of other rally events too. So let's make a start, shall we? You might have to
pick this one, so you're gonna be good. Like, I mean,
you'll have to fill in the gaps here because I'm going to be so.
Not only did he pick it, he picked the stages that he liked and the cars that he liked. So let's think about this all for later when the excuses roll in.
No pressure.
I feel like the excuses are kind of coming in a few seconds.
No pressure. By the way, straight away, I jumped the start. Unbelievable. Well, so what we said, we laid down a rule that if we get one restart if it's in the first section. So what I'm going to do is
fair enough. I
can't believe that. So that's my restart.
That's a wasted restart. That is a wasted restart in my opinion.
Right, come on. Yeah, you're going to have to fill in the gaps here because I'm going to be full concentration.
You got to get into the zone,
Got to get into the zone.
Sorry, I better start this time.
Couldn't have gone much worse.
So I've found this. I was trying this out last night, getting my practice in. I don't want to be shown up by anyone. I found this is like a super narrow. It feels narrow. Like I don't know if it is narrow, like compared to some of the other courses, but it does feel like really narrow and kind of like almost claustrophobic at times because you've got that big wall on the right as well, and the impending doom on the left as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of a clip there. Got away with that really.
Nicely run.
So we've got this on semi-auto as well, so whilst the gears will automatically change most of the time, you can kind of notch it down a gear or two if you need a bit more, less traction I guess, like going around some of the corners. So vital for those drift turns, I've found, is notching down a gear.
Can we just say, despite the fact that we're talking, Chris is doing really, really well.
He's doing great.
I think he's kind of showing us up without us.
We'll see about
I'm
that.
a bit scared about.
Are you intentionally saying that so that you are giving him the kiss of death, the commentary's kiss of death?
Together.
I don't know.
Okay, this is the tricky part. This is what you're talking about. The course gets narrow. It gets even narrower here. So you get some hairpins thrown in towards the end as well. Phil Mills, the legend himself.
Yeah.
Keep me on the straight and narrow. Ooh, just about. Oh. See, that's what happens when I talk.
Stop talking, Chris. Shut up. Yeah. Let Phil do the talking.
That's true.
Let Phil Annas do the talking.
Yeah, Annas.
We can let you drive.
We'll see at the end who's in the driver's seat, because John's face scans in this game as well. And John Armstrong's face in this game, so and from time to time you will see him in the driver's seat himself. I think he'd be proud of this.
Yeah, I think he would. He's doing a really, really good job. Kind of frightens me a little bit.
Yeah, just a smidge,
putting the pressure on all of
There
us.
is a ghost you can see on the left-hand side. I'm not sure who set that. That might have been me earlier.
Possibly.
Might have been. So that doesn't bode well, considering I thought I had a pretty good run earlier.
Yeah.
And you're doing practically excellent here. Obviously we're using the controller as well. Yeah, so that's going to bring its own challenges in.
Yeah.
Oh.
See there, Ghost serving the penalty.
Okay.
So, yeah, that probably was me if it was serving a penalty. 40-second difference, oh no.
But it's all to shame we haven't even gone yet.
Slow it down. I hit myself a bit there.
Yeah, I think that is something to mention, obviously, is that not only this game does work really, really well on a controller.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I've got a one of those Elite controllers at home, and I've used the back triggers as like almost like a flappy paddle gearbox.
Oh.
Yeah, because I can't do the manual gear switching like constantly on the controller. I find my brain just doesn't it doesn't work. But the flappy paddle I can kind of like get to grips with.
Yeah.
Come on. Almost there.
Come on, Chris.
Apparently some players have set records on a keyboard, which
Yeah.
blows my mind.
Frightens the life out of you.
Yeah, that is
Somebody
terrible.
can be that
line.
good. Yeah.
I mean, that was really good.
48.151.
Sub 4
The
minutes.
ghost will show as well, so we'll see how far behind we are, if we are indeed behind. Where are you in the leaderboard? Let's have a look.
Right,
Let's have a look. I think that was pretty
Yeah,
respectable.
well, it is pretty.
So this is the global leaderboard.
500. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I'm happy to be. I mean, whenever I do Dirt Rally challenges, the first thing I look at is on the far right is like the scroller, right, for how far up
Yeah.
the leaderboard you are.
Yeah.
If you're right at the
If
bottom,
I'm above the middle, if the scroller is
Well, there
above
you
the
go.
middle, then
then
I'm
you've
like,
done well.
good.
That's all right. Keep an eye out for Editors 18.
Yeah.
In third place.
So yeah, that's that's
Firing
not
himself up the leaderboard.
bad. Yeah.
Only
Okay.
34 seconds off the top time.
Yeah. So Jenny, here you
Jenny's
go.
next.
Best of luck. 3:48 to beat.
348. I'm not going to beat that.
Well, you've had a bit of a sighter now, and
Yeah.
Remember, you
see things go.
get you get one restart in the first
one.
sector.
not going to
so-
need that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not need it. Are you do you play chase cam? Or?
Yeah, I play chase
Okay,
cam.
all right.
Oh, you use a bonnet cam, don't you, James?
I'm a bonnet cam,
Right,
so yeah, a bit of a different perspective there.
Yeah.
That's not to say that any is bad.
Sure.
Like,
We're playing with a pad. All options are open.
exactly.
It's one of the beauties of Dirt Rally 2 is that we talk about how competitive it is and
Yeah,
how
that's it. Yeah, yeah.
drives some. It's the it creates some really sort of. I'm just thinking back to when I was at the Autosport International show recently and how we worked with our partners to create an esports championship, the Dirt Rally 2 World Series, and how everybody was obviously using a wheel setup and a seat setup with peripherals and all that. Oh, give me together! Save it!
Don't forget you got your restart if you want to use it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
There it is. There it
You've
is.
had your sighter.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
still have my side.
So talking about how this game can get so competitive and it brings out some incredible skills from drivers, but also you can have the option to just play back with pad and play with different camera views, whatever works for you, and sort of build your way up if you want to build your way up to that kind of level.
Yeah. I mean, the wheel is super daunting for a lot of people, I think, and also because there's often a fairly substantial cost to buying a wheel. Like if you really want to go like if you really want to kind of go in on like the whole sim experience, like you can spend a lot of money on it. But obviously having this game, oh my god, where did that rock come from? Having a game that is still really playable on a controller whilst being appreciated on a wheel as well is like a really good balance.
Yeah, absolutely right. And we're obviously obviously, we're playing on Xbox One X for this this broadcast, and game looking absolutely fantastic on Xbox One X as always. You were talking about how you can almost feel a little bit claustrophobic at a stage like this.
Yeah.
So you think about Greece almost feels to me a little bit like a not a beginner's but sort of an entry level pathway into a stage like Argentina, which is like is quite similar in setup into Greece, but it's so narrow and so tight, and if you go offline whatsoever, you've got walls and jagged rocks like either side of you at all times. I remember when I first saw it during the development stage. I remember saying to someone, "It just looks like another planet." Like when you're racing it, because you're up in the mountains, you're just surrounded by these rocks and these formations. It looks like another planet. It's incredible. But so Greece is sort of an entry level sort of location for an area like Argentina. So
it's the first one that's like offered up to you, isn't it, in the menus, or is it? I think it is. It's one of the first ones in the career that comes across. I think I remember it.
Yeah, well, Greece is
quite early.
Yeah, Greece is a post-launch edition as well. So,
oh right, okay. Cool.
So it's I think it's been one of my favourite additions since we've been adding in post-launch content. But also we're going to be looking at some other stuff that we've added in since launch of Dirt Rally. Later on in the broadcast, we're going to look at Monte Carlo, which is just an absolutely revered, iconic location for rally racing. So many memories. Think back to your minis and your Renault Alpines flying through Monte Carlo. So I'm looking forward to racing on that. We're going to dip into World Rallycross as well and use the Silverstone circuit, within which we'll be using the World Rallycross cars from the season just gone.
Yeah.
So some of the most incredible cars, some of the most fastest accelerating cars you'll ever find. So.
That's the bit I'm looking forward to. I like Rallycross. I like Rallycross.
Brilliant, yeah. Well, Jenny's picked up the pace here and some decent running here, I would say.
It's clean. I'll give it that. Yeah, she's keeping it on track. No massive penalties or anything.
Absolutely. Which is so much easier said than done.
On
a game like Dirt Rally 2.0 and a stage like Greece, with a fast four-wheel drive car like the R5.
One lock up and you're going straight over that edge.
Oh, there you go. It's all right.
Sorry, you can spin that.
Keep it on.
Keep going.
Nice.
Keep it in.
Oh no! So I think it's down 3. Yeah. That's a shame.
It's only 4 seconds. That's all right.
That's okay. Still not too bad. Looks like Mike picked up a little bit of radiator damage, but that's okay. Should be able to make it through.
I don't think you got any punctures though, which is...
No.
Yet.
This is just commentators cursing.
That's true. Just shut up.
Cursing.
I also noticed you haven't driven off the edge of the...
This is all kind of like yets.
How do you fancy your chances, James? When you
I don't know.
take the wheel?
You guys have driven fairly clean. I seem to be either too tentative, which is either a blessing or a curse in the sense my god!
Save it! Nailed it.
Totally intentional.
That was truly intentional.
Yeah, it's either a blessing or a curse to do too tentative, because you stay on track, but then you just lose so much time and what have you. Or I'll go full send and just pick up penalties left, right, and centre. So, but I don't know. I think I'm probably going to be somewhere. I don't know. I think I'm going to be slower than Jenny still.
No, you won't.
Yeah. We'll see.
That's what rally's all about, though. Is finding that balance. I remember actually with the first Dirt Rally game. I remember playing that when it came out in early access, and there's a lot of focus on how rally is basically all about finding the balance between going at a pace that feels comfortable for you, but pushing the car and the track to its limits.
Yeah.
It's all about finding that balance and pushing yourself.
That's it.
Over the line, Jenny goes. It's a 4:41 after picking up a couple of at least one penalty there, unfortunately.
There we go.
I think that was also good timing to finish that, because I think Phil said that there was a puncture at the
Oh really?
There was just a puncture.
Yeah.
There was just a puncture.
Yeah. So Chris with a 3:48.1.
Okay.
With a
Journey with a
441. Are you going to be? I reckon you're going to be somewhere in the middle.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
That's my prediction. Is you're going to be somewhere in the
You're
middle.
selling yourself too short there, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it was surprisingly clean. So I'm gonna so we'll change it up. Bit of bonnet cam.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got to remember that restart that I've got, and I'm gonna go quiet now as well. So.
There we go. So we're going to have to make the conversation.
Yeah, but it's interesting to sort of see it from different perspectives. Like, I think almost my entire, I played racing games all my life, and I think almost entirely I've used chase cam. I just think just because it's muscle memory for me from way back when I played racing games back on the first consoles that I owned, like a PlayStation or an N64 and stuff like that. That's the camera mode that I used. But it's interesting to see people use it from different perspectives.
Yeah. I think
you're a chase cam.
I'm a chase cam. I'm particularly in rally. In rally, I like chase cam because I can see more of the peripheries and where I'm going.
Okay.
And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I find it essential in a game like Dirt Rally because you have more. If someone for me maybe doesn't have the complete feel for the car, like some of our esports pros, or looking at PJ over there. Yeah, so, like I don't have that instinctive feel for where the car is at all times.
Yeah.
So when you've got in chase cam, I almost always you can see where the rear end is. So you know if you want to swing it around a hairpin, you know where the rear end is. And
I know what you
can
mean.
push it.
I know what you mean.
The one thing I also find is that when because I'm watching games now, and is that there's a different sense of speed.
Yes, that's true.
That like this frightens me.
Yeah.
This makes me, this.
Yeah, but you're used to playing F1, so.
Yeah, well, yeah, F1. So on F1, I kind of tend to use like the T cam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On F1 because I find it nice.
So it kind of depends for you what kind of racing game you're playing will can sometimes dictate which camera mode you're in.
Yeah, we can because I think it's because on F1 for example, you're kind of a circuit-based game. You kind of more have a track map.
Got it.
You know exactly what the circuit is.
Okay.
Whereas this, you're relying on pacing.
Yep.
Which kind of means that you're relying more on the car. You're less relying on. You don't know it quite so well.
Yeah, I think looking at it from you work primarily on the F1 console game, and I think it's interesting when we move into Rallycross a little bit later on how the World Rallycross Championship uses a couple of circuits that are also used on the F1 calendar. So we use different routes in infield sections like Yas Marina and Catalunya, Silverstone. Although Silverstone's a complete circuit within the main track all in itself.
It's a different circuit itself, isn't it?
But it's interesting to see how some, especially on Catalunya and Yas Marina, how parts of the F1 circuit will build into the Rallycross section as well. I think it might be interesting for if there's some F1 players who maybe haven't played Dirt Rally 2. I think they might be very interested in the layout and the setup of Rallycross. Let's check in on James, just about keeping it on all four wheels. You can see the Ghost just ahead, so it's definitely attainable.
Yeah.
Whoa, threw it in there.
I'm hoping the Ghost is going to muck up at some point. I can't remember where you did that.
Yeah, a little bit there. Getting tense now, getting towards the end. Oh, throw it in.
Oh.
Save it! Yeah!
I think that was more luck than anything.
Are you trying out the commentator's curse? Are you scared?
Just a little bit, and by the looks of it, it did the trick.
It worked.
Yeah!
Oh, no, come on! That's so hard. What happened?
Oh, I was getting nervous.
Vulnerable. Oh my goodness.
I was getting nervous
Not just
there.
that, but you went past the restart.
Oh no!
No,
I forfeited my restart, so 15 minutes there.
That's unfortunate. You hate to see it. I was
mean-
getting worried there because I didn't think you were catching my ghost. So.
It was all going so well.
Wow.
It was all going so well.
Yeah. Okay, well that's so there's our results from our first little challenge there. Happy to come up with the victory there, but I was genuinely, I could see you catching up to my ghost, and I was starting to get a little bit worried there. Yeah, throw on a bit of replay.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
see.
see what happens. So,
you kind of predicted it earlier when you said
yeah, that was
you
it.
either
Yeah, I mean,
go
too
really
tentative,
or you just go for it.
Oh, there's one moment. That was where it
Good
was.
save.
That's where it was starting to go wrong. Was right there. So
Free frame.
yeah, that's it. Let's
Scratch disc.
Yeah.
You may be wondering how I ended up like
Yeah,
this.
that's it. Right, so is this it? Yeah, this is definitely. Oh no, this is the
No,
one.
you saved this
that
one.
was
Beautiful.
I got saved by the barrier there, I think, a little bit.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that was very much it. Let's change. This is going to be a good angle for the. Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's
Oh
unfortunate.
no! I was literally going straight down the mountain.
No, we're not
and
allowed
that was
to-
it.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to see anymore.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, well,
R-rated.
that's That's how the cookie is crumbled now on the first stage. Happy to take the victory.
Happy to take the W there. Yeah.
See, this is the thing. So you set this all up for your own victory. This is the stage that he loves, with the cars that he loves, and suddenly, miraculously, he finds it.
It could be suggested.
How did that happen?
It could be suggested that this whole broadcast is just set up for me to set times on Dirt Rally, but that's just a rumor. So
unconfirmed.
Unconfirmed. Cannot confirm nor deny. But what did you think? That you racing on Greece there with the R5 cars? Both of you, Jenny. What was your thoughts there? Sort of experience, how you found that one playing on Greece in Dirt Rally 2.0.
I love it. I love. I'm kind of a bit like James, but more kind of lean on the too tentative side. I would lean on the too tentative side because I would kind of sit there and go.
Don't want to get there.
keep it on the road, and because I'm mindful that it's not. I don't have any flashbacks to you.
Got
I
it.
can't just reverse time and pretend
that
didn't
true,
happen.
actually.
I can't just pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah,
and go on
that's
as
it.
if, So it kind of make sure that I want to keep it in it or keep it in it.
Yeah.
Slow but steady, but it's something that Dirt Rally is always a learning curve for me.
Oh, totally, yeah, and it is.
And we're all still learning. We're all still finding our way.
That's what I love about the game. I still come back to it. Now and again, and I will learn things and I will improve and get better all the time. So that's one of the reasons that I love it. And you're right, because there's so much in rallying. There's so much focus on the driver to improve that. There's no things like, even in the game itself, there's no racing line, there's no anything like that. It's about listening to your co-drive and focusing and learning how the car really feels. James, sorry, what did you think about?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy it. Like, it's one of those ones that you just kind of want, like, I just want to do it again. Like,
I can do better.
Yeah, I can definitely do better.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can do better than terminal damage, but I mean,
sure.
That's pretty low bar to say.
Yeah, that's a low bar. Yeah, that is a low
damage
bar.
kind of.
When we finish up the broadcast, you're going to stay in it a bit.
You guys go back to work. I'll just stay in here. That's fine. Yeah.
So we've got a couple more stages that we're going to do, but we'll do a bit. I think we'll take a bit of a quick break. I think.
Let's take a break, and we'll get PJ in as well. So the Dirt Rally Master. Not that we're hyping him up in any way.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Hey guys, welcome back. PJ's here.
Hey.
Just like that, he transitioned from being Jenny to PJ.
It's like a little Pokemon evolution.
Yeah, I like that. But you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm PJ, I'm the social media manager for Dirt Rally 2.0. I've been, the first game I've worked on here at Codemasters, I've been here since just before Season 2 started. And I've been playing this game since before then. I love this game. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm playing it at home at the moment. I've got a full wheel setup and everything else, but I can be handy on a pad, and I'm hoping to demonstrate that today. Right, Chris?
Okay, let's find out. Yeah.
Remember, Chris picked the stages, so...
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah, but I still think
I picked the cars. So
well, there you go.
We're off to Monte, aren't we?
Yes, so
let's
should
do
we
it.
move straight into
Let's get
Monte
cracking.
Carlo? So this is another environment or location that was added post-launch Dirt Rally 2, wasn't it, PJ?
Yeah, it was the first DLC location in Season 1.
Brilliant. So we're going to pick this one, so that's a...
Corte Monte?
Yes, pretty similar to, in distance to what the Greece stage was, but it's slightly slower, so...
Ice.
Should work out. Yeah, there's a little... towards the end of the stage, there's a little bit of ice. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
1,
that's
2, 3, 4,
terrifying.
5. I count 6 hairpins.
Yeah, there's a few handbrakes going to be thrown in here for sure.
Yeah. So for this stage, we're going to use the classic Subaru Impreza from 1995.
Colin Subaru.
Indeed. And of course, we're talking about McRae, so I guess we have to talk a little bit about the upcoming expansion for Dirt Rally 2.0, which has got us all massively excited.
Oh yeah, the Colin McRae flat-out pack is just going to be absolutely amazing.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, I've seen that trailer. It still had me in tears. It was like, oh my god, the music was so right. It's like they finally did it. They finally put this Subaru S4 in. And so I've driven a little bit of it downstairs in the dev studio, and the new location Scotland as well, which is free to anybody that has one of the dirt seasons. And I imagine most of the people here who've been following the game all the way through, they've probably already got it. And I look forward to seeing how you all do with this as well. But first,
right,
Straight
Here we
into...
you're straight in. Ooh.
Okay.
Remember your restart rule. Oh, you got to change your button.
Change
So
the
if you
camera
want
before
to
you
try,
hold
it's Y for the...
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, you guys use default controls. I customize everything.
Yeah, well, no customizing today, PJ. We need to keep it level.
playing
Yeah,
field.
no, I'll remember the default controls because I use manual gears and everything else.
Yeah, so we've got this, as I said earlier, we've got it on semi-auto, so you will be able to change. In fact, yeah, screw it. You can put it on manual if you want. Yeah,
I'll change the assists. Yeah.
yeah. Well, don't change the assists. Like, let's not get too crazy.
But to be fair, I'll go last in the run.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fine. So, I like how many walls there are here, stopping you from going off the edge and potentially terminal damaging. Not that anyone would do that.
There's a couple of I'm not sure if it's on this route in particular, but there are a couple of places around Monte where you've got wooden poles wooden fences, for example. You can break those.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Stay away from the wooden fences.
Stay away from the wooden
Noted.
fences. But Monte Carlo is super, like right here. See them?
Oh right. So you can go through those, can you?
You can go
Okay.
straight through those.
No
Yeah.
thanks.
No thanks.
Thank you.
Not again. Ooh, he's up on his personal best.
Bit.
Yeah. If you look in the bottom left of the screen there, you'll see the progress bar.
Yes.
And for each sector, it's colored green if you're past your target time, and it's red if you're below your target time.
Got you.
So if you're doing, like, for example, you're in career mode, or you're driving against, you're in my team, or you're playing against like AI cars or something like that, then that'll be based off of the fastest time.
Right.
So if you see a lot of green, you know you're probably doing really well.
Okay.
But if you see a lot of red, then you know that they're pulling away from you.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't normally see green, to be honest. But yeah. That's makes sense. Green faster, like
Green good, red bad.
Yeah, green good, red bad. Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
You're nailing these hairpins. Like,
that's-
Chris. Yeah, that was
yeah,
smooth.
Need to get gifs of those.
Stick it in replay mode.
Yeah, it brings me back to when we were doing a kind of shortly after I joined Cody's, we tried to do like a test stream around the release of Wales Rally, which was one of the
No!
kick it.
There we go.
Wales Rally, which was one of the DLC locations, and myself and John Armstrong did a pretty much similar to this. We did a couch run. And I remember one moment, John was better than me everywhere because, you know, professional rally driver.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but we got to this one hairpin and I absolutely sent it, like full on, fifth gear, whacked down the gears, pulled the handbrake, absolutely nailed it. And John looked over and gone, you did that, didn't you? I was like,
What a moment.
I showed a rally driver how it's done and then he showed me everything else. But
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
now here's one of my favorite things about Monte Carlo. It's half, some of the routes, like this one in particular, are half tarmac and half snow and ice. You've just finished the tarmac section, which is lower down the mountain, but now as you climb up towards the Col de Trinity, it's starting to get a bit more treacherous, and you can feel it as well, especially if you're playing on a wheel. You can feel the wheel get light, and then as it gets on the tarmac it grips again, and you got to fight that, which is
Yeah, I'm feathering
Pretty
the fall
tough.
around here.
Yeah. It's probably a good thing to do, to be honest. Yeah.
The good news is you're in an all-wheel drive car, so it can take it.
Feels at home around this kind of circuit. To be honest.
Oh yeah.
There's
So
my
it's-
ghost, very slightly heavy.
Yeah, you're green, green, red. So you're up close to your PB. You last corner, because you can see those little green markers.
I wonder what they were for. So that's to show that you're like a certain distance away from.
Yeah,
home, or-
because generally 3:43.
Excellent.
Nice. And you beat your grease time.
Just.
Wow, that was really close. Yeah, 0.3.
Yeah. So those that trackside decoration, for example, that happens in real rally as well. Let's see where he's on the board. Okay.
Wow, that is.
Again, the slider is what I'm looking for.
I was going to say, yeah, the
Please-
slider. Yeah,
Pleased with
yeah.
that.
Normally I'm like, if there's a bit of grey at the top, I'm not happy.
Nice levels.
Levels.
Love that. Okay, so James,
Grand.
James on next?
Hand over,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see what we can.
You can either go restart immediately or go into the service area in case you want to.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I don't
We're
know.
straight in, yeah.
we're straight in.
Nice one.
Let's do it.
Straight into the body count.
Okay, let's try and not terminal damage. I mean, I can't get worse than that. I can't get worse.
Right, off we go.
All that decoration I was saying, that's in real life rally stages as well. Especially because it's important that, there's real people at these and you don't want to be barreling past the finish line at full throttle and still going because there's people there waiting for you. So
Sure.
you need to be careful. So they give you these little warning things to say, hey, you're about to hit the end of the stage and get ready to slow
Puncture
down.
already. Oh, I get my restart.
Yes,
Wait,
you do.
Hold
Yes,
on.
you do.
Yep, you got your joker.
I think. Yeah, it's pulling to the right.
Yeah.
I think
Well, maybe
Yeah,
a
oh my
restart is in
goodness.
order here.
We're talking a little
straight
bit.
away. Blimey.
We're talking a little bit over the legend Phil Mills at the moment.
Mulligan there for James. Absolutely
Sorry,
fine.
Phil.
Yeah. You don't want to disappoint Phil because he loves the tires.
He does love the tires.
Please look after them. I did. So one of the things I was going to, when you were talking about the stage decoration and stuff like that, it's one of the key sort of those finer details. I think are one of the things that make that Rally 2.0 such a good game. And one of the other examples of that is the pace notes from Phil Mills. So we've discussed about this a lot in the office and through the game's development about how the implementation of pace notes for Dirt Rally 2.0 is basically twofold. So if you're racing on a rally stage and you're going at a decent pace, a fairly steady pace, your pace notes from Phil will be quite considered and safe, and he feels
into two
yeah,
left,
two-
into three
absolutely
right.
perfect example. But if you're nailing it, if you're absolutely smashing through a stage and you're barreling through at top speed through these corners, his cadence and his tone will pick up. So it's basically we re-recorded the pace notes, every single pace note twice.
3 times.
Well, three times. There you
wow.
go. So to give an accurate reflection of that sort of feeling of pace and feeling of immersion, one of the aspects of Dirt Rally that I absolutely love.
Yeah. It's great then when it triggers as well. For example, when Phil suddenly realizes you're going way faster than you normally do, so it's like
Yeah.
2 right into 3 right into 4 left
Yeah.
into
It's like, here we go! I'm doing it! I'm doing it!
front right puncture.
Sorry, Phil. Decent little help in there from.
Yeah, that was alright. That was alright.
Pretty well.
You don't get the satisfying look of the hairpin though when you're in the bonnet cam. That's the only thing. Like,
True.
You feel it. You feel it in the controller and you feel it in the wheel if you're playing on the wheel. But you don't get like that satisfying drift. Like that's why you got to watch the replay again and just be like, yeah, I bet that looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you're on a wheel and it hooks up just right to the point where you can essentially one-hand the wheel and go,
Yeah.
and then whip it back and then go and then.
Yeah. That's when this game it can be absolutely at its best, can it? You just you nail that feeling. So you said you were mentioning just briefly you've got your own race setup at home with a wheel and a seat and everything like that, and that's sort of a project that you've been working on over the last few months, isn't it?
Yeah, so I figured that. I've been playing racing games for 20 years, and I've been playing on a pad. I've been playing all sorts. I've been playing dirt, playing F1, played a bit of grid, all that kind of stuff, and generally doing pretty well in it.
Yeah.
And really enjoying it and all that. But after I joined Cody's, I was like, I'm suddenly in a flat that has twice as much space. I work at a racing studio. I should probably get a rig.
Yeah?
I should probably get a wheel, and I just went all in. I didn't even go for like base level wheel. I went, okay, I'm getting this Fanatec and this and this and this.
I'm pretty sure I've got puncture.
No.
Oh, it's the rear left. It looks like. Ooh. Oh yeah.
Nice good send.
Yeah,
That was.
it's the rear. If anyone was watching the Dirt Rally School,
Right.
where John gives tips on various things and advice, which is all super useful. I know a lot of people have liked it. He did say that when you have punctures, if you're in an all-wheel drive car like this, if the puncture is at the back, you're going to oversteer, which is turn way too much when you get into a corner. But if it's on the front, it'll understeer, so it won't give you enough grip to actually turn around the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the worst feeling in the world is a front puncture on a front-wheel drive car, because it's also affecting your acceleration.
Yeah. You're at the mercy of the circuit at that point for sure. That Dirt Rally School thing that has been put together has been really, really great. And it's sort of, we're talking about how we're playing on a pad, and the game is built to challenge people with the highest skills. But to get to that point, things like the Dirt Rally School are massively, massively useful to help people reach those levels, isn't it?
Yeah. 349.
Made it.
Oh, 349.
I mean, I'm glad I just got to the finish, to be honest.
Yeah, that's not 15 minutes.
It's 6 seconds behind. That's pretty good.
Yeah, let's look at the splits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, personal best is Chris's one is on the bottom and James's one is on the top. So
Okay.
3 seconds slower in the first, and I think in split 2 you got the puncture.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think it was split 3 because it was towards the end.
Here's
but
the thing though, you were faster in split 4 than
How?
Chris.
How? I don't know. Maybe the puncture helped me. I don't know.
And not having the rubber on the tyre is a bit of weight loss.
Yeah. That's
Helped it in the
let's go with
straights.
that. It was holding me down, to be honest.
Right, so let's see what PJ can do. And,
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about the fact that you're going in here is that you can kind of see a few things in the menus that we wouldn't normally see, I suppose.
There's various assists that people can use. So you've got your transmission, which is your gear shifting, because you can get a little bit extra straight line performance out of shifting manually. You might want to kick it down quicker to get some engine braking in, that kind of thing. Clutch is more advanced thing. I don't use it a lot on a controller, but I know some of the top guys use it on the wheel, especially in the older cars. And then you've got a couple of other things like your standard racing game assists, like ABS, and off-throttle braking is you release it and it automatically slows down for you. That's also a good accessibility thing. So if somebody's only able to use the throttle with their right hand, they can play the whole game one-handed if they want. So,
okay, cool.
So our friends at Special Effect, they do a lot of great charity work with people with all sorts of varying degrees of ability, and this is the kind of thing that can help them with that.
Cool.
Windscreen wipers, you can either set it to manual on a button. Exterior cameras, you can make it so that you can force cockpit view. Which I know a lot of the hardcore guys, especially in the hardcore Dirt Rally Club, they use a lot of these. So it's wheel only, no assists, final destination. And
So what is there anything here that you're gonna switch up a little bit for your run?
Normally what I do at home is I have everything off. Except for exterior cameras, because I like my bonnet camera.
Okay.
But I'm just going to go with manual gears, and I think that's about it, really.
Okay.
At home, I also, because I'm starting to play now on a wheel, and I'm starting to get to the faster stages. I'm at the final stage in the career, the highest difficulty.
Yeah.
And if you guys have been on the Cody's forums, you've seen that I've been posting in a forum thread saying, oh, it's my first day on the wheel, I have got 3 punctures and I can't finish the stage. So it's my second day, I finished the stage. The third day, and now I'm actually getting a little bit quicker, and it's been great to see that progress as well. But less blabbing from me and more lapping.
Right,
so
let's see it. We've given it the hype.
That's it.
We've given it the hype, right? And I have, okay, so I need to remember default controls is that's handbrake, gear up, gear down.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
You've got your one mulligan as well to make use of if you wish. Right, so James, so you've just played now Greece and Monte Carlo, so feedback, differences between different stages, different road surfaces.
You definitely feel the difference once the ice and the snow comes in. Even on a controller, I know PJ was saying how you kind of lose that traction a bit on the wheel and what have you, but you even feel it on the controller as well. It's really bizarre. The car becomes a lot more twitchy, and because on the tarmac, especially compared to the gravel, you're stuck. You're stuck down. And I think those are the sorts of racing games that I'm used to. So going from that to dirt is a big difference. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is an awesome track. It looks great as well.
It does.
I mean, and the fact that transition from tarmac to ice, it almost feels like it's a story because you are going up the mountain and kind of getting to that end point in the circuit as well.
It takes me back as well to just, like I was saying, just thinking about those iconic images of rallying that you've seen in the past on Monte Carlo stages. Some of the most incredible rallies of all time have come in places like Monaco. So yeah, it's always one of my favourite. If I've got a bit of downtime between doing things and I'm going to jump on Dirt Rally, quite often the stage that I'll jump into straight away will be Monte Carlo.
Breaking news, front right puncture.
You got a puncture already?
It happened immediately after the reset.
Oh no!
So I have to fight it.
Well,
so
this will be an even more performance here if you do.
Still picks up the W.
This is my Colin tribute now, because the amount of times he's binned it and then made it to the end and somehow won rallies is.
Yeah.
Although that lovely little Subaru ghost is running away from me. Come back! Come back! Oh.
So you got front right, is it?
I got front right, so I have understeer. Yeah. You had a rear right.
Not great when you got so many hairpins.
No, not great when you bigged me up for the last half hour.
It's working!
Damn you guys and your psychological warfare.
So we're talking about ice as well, and so how it sort of differs your driving style and how you change it. So the main thing for me, you become fairly used to feathering the throttle and making sure you give yourself more time through the corners and stuff like that. So make a bit of an error, he's caught up to go. But the main thing for me is braking points. So if you begin your braking zone not in the direction that you need it to, and basically
come off the rim
you try and straight line brake in the wrong direction, you're done for.
Yeah,
you need to have the car so ready ahead of time for where you want to brake and where you want to go.
Yeah, I've noticed that big time.
Yeah, so and I just love how it's so accurately represented in a game like this.
Oh, this is terrifying.
Oh,
this is
brilliantly held. Here comes
this left hairpin's gonna suck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I pulled the handbrake and it still
nothing happened.
Because the tire is blown now as well, so I'm actually just scraping it on the rim.
Oh no! I'm carving
You
a
can
path.
kind of hear it as well.
You absolutely can. Oh, nicely done. Brilliant. That'll do.
It's gonna be really close. Because I think this is where Chris lost a bit of time in the last section, so it's going to be close.
Yeah. Oh, the speed through there!
Oh no!
Oh, have you beached it between? No, okay. Can you get it out?
Get it!
Oh,
get
no.
it! No!
Oh,
no! It's like watching a car crash. Oh wait.
Can I get an F in chat?
Oh, that's.
I had to go flat out through there because I got greedy.
Yeah.
That's right, you just got to nurse it to the end now. Come on.
Yeah.
Rallycross next, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you got a chance of redemption. Yeah, that's for sure.
That was a little bit like when you watch real world rallies, you get to the final stages and you see that the second or third place driver just has to go flat out to try and make up the time to win the rally, and you see him go all out, and sometimes
you just got to go
mistakes
desperate.
can be made.
It was only 6 corners away.
Yeah, it wasn't far. It wasn't far at all.
Yeah. But I had 2 greens in it.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 greens.
Go for finish.
Have I done better? No, I haven't even done better than James.
Wait,
even.
I didn't come last.
Oh boy.
It's a 407, but with a front right puncher. So that's commendable, absolutely commendable.
Certainly.
Yeah, I mean, I was up in the first split, and then I got the puncture immediately after.
Yeah.
And
you came back in the third split as well, though.
Yeah. Oh, look, I was 2 seconds quicker in the.
Yeah.
They had us in the first half, not going to lie. So, okay. Nicely done, everybody.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Let me go into options.
Let's turn off those manual gears.
Yeah.
That'll kill me. You had it in semi-auto, that's fine.
Leave it in semi-auto. Yeah.
Let's bring it back to the main menu, and we'll kick off the final stage of our challenge, I think.
Yeah, we're doing Rallycross
next.
So, Rallycross is something that came to the Dirt Rally franchise in the initial Dirt Rally game, but
first Dirt Rally,
but not immediately on launch. It was something that we added in the sort of the full launch of the game, and it's been really cool to sort of be on the journey with World Rallycross, because I think when we first began the Dirt Rally franchise, World Rallycross was an up and coming series. It was just picking up a little bit of momentum and getting a bit of a following with some well-known names coming into the series, and over time, and at the same time that we've included World Rallycross in Dirt Rally, it's just blown up. It's been one of the fastest growing motorsports in the world. You've got the likes of your Petter Solberg and Sebastian Loeb and Jan Kristoffersen and drivers like that coming into World Rallycross and making some incredible memories. So it's been really cool sort of being on that journey with World Rallycross. I know you work with them very closely on a lot of different things. So.
Yeah, I got to work with the Rallycross guys last year because Season 4 of Dirt Rally 2.0 was entirely Rallycross themed. We had all the Rallycross cars from the 2019 season. We had a couple of new tracks like Yas Marina and Killarney in South Africa, and a couple of more like that. We even brought back the old classic Lynn Hill, the home of Rallycross, the birthplace, as it were. And the championship itself was super exciting as well, with Timmy Hansen and Andreas Baccarat fighting to the last race. And
I saw that; it was insane.
Yeah,
terrific.
You got to look up the clip on YouTube, because the commentator Andrew Coley, who also voices a lot of things in this game as well, and he was a commentator on the World Series. He just goes absolutely mental because Hansen and Baccarat. It basically comes down to a final round, final race. There's 1 point between them, and it's basically whoever's in front wins.
Yeah, right.
To a degree, there's a couple of
nuances.
Nuances, the points. And the two cars, I won't spoil the end of it, but the two cars, they're straight at it. They start pulling away from the rest of the field. They start getting elbows out.
Yeah, they do.
And then it all kicks off.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely insane.
It's what Rallycross is all about. It is absolutely brilliant. So let's jump into a little bit of ourselves on Silverstone. So we're going to kick off with the Silverstone circuit, which is of course part of the World Rallycross calendar.
So let's go all the way. Also in the DLC seasons, for example, we brought in things like these. These are the Group B Rallycross cars. So they're your retro Rallycross cars from the 80s with like 500 horsepower. They're absolutely crazy. You've got the 2018 season World Rallycross cars there. You've also got the 2019 season, which is where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones we're going to look at, aren't they?
Those are the ones we're going to look at.
Okay.
Are we going to get Timmy's or Kevin?
What are you thinking?
Timmy won the championship.
No, we gotta go with
We gotta go with
You
Timmy.
spoiled it!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Then what's your catch up?
But yeah, so makes sense to go with the winner. So yeah, let's jump into some Rallycross action. So the standard setup in Dirt Rally 2.0 for time trial Rallycross is you would just set an 8-lap distance. You can just go around with 8 laps. So that's what each of us are going to do. So you'll start on circuit and you have 8 laps, pretty much beginning with 1 practice lap to set the fastest time possible.
Yep.
Do that, and
wins.
then we'll take it from there. So.
Yeah, I won't be going first because I've set the gears to.
Okay.
We don't need to, and we don't have tire selection here. You can tune the vehicle if you want. We're not going to do it here, but there's a couple of experts on YouTube. I know if you look up GTR Technical, for example, he's done setups for pretty much every car in the game. I use them myself a lot as well. They're really handy. And there's a lot of other tuning sources are available.
Cool.
As well.
Right, but, so should I keep up the normal
you
order?
go. Now, of course, like the week before I joined Codemasters, the World Rallycross was actually at Silverstone, and Dirt Rally 2 was there.
We were, yeah. It was fantastic to be at Speed Machine. I'm actually just going to pause it because I'll distract myself. We, Codemasters and Dirt Rally, along with World Rallycross, were at Speed Machine last year, and it was absolutely fantastic. Speed Machine is like a festival that's sort of built around the World Rallycross Championship event at Silverstone. And it was so much fun to be there and basically have our own garage next to a load of other really interesting garages with classic cars and other memorabilia and Rallycross stuff. And you are the other side of the paddock, so 20 metres away from the actual garages of the World Rallycross cars. So you can see and hear the World Rallycross cars booting up and being repaired between sessions. It was so cool. And then on the Sunday, on race day, we had a chance to go out trackside and watch these cars. So you're going to see as we go down to turn 1, it's a hairpin. And I spent so much time just sort of standing around that area, seeing these cars absolutely send it into turn 1. And you're just like, how is that even possible? So it was really cool to be.
You're going to show us how it's possible, aren't you?
Debatable. But so if you ever get, that's the kind of event, if you're a Rallycross fan or you're just a motorsport fan, you got to go to, because there's music, there's activities, food stands and all that sort of stuff, but it's all built around a genuinely exciting round of motorsport. It's absolutely brilliant.
Cool.
So let's give this a go.
Do you reckon? So we're doing fastest lap wins, right?
Yes.
And we're going to have 8 laps each.
Yep.
Okay.
That's plenty.
Right.
Now the laps in Rallycross are pretty short because they're only like 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer circuits. They're designed for fast, intense, super short racing. The races are only like 5 minutes long, but they do loads of them over the weekend. They do 6 heats, and then they do 4 heats and a semi and a final. And they have a whole system for who makes it and who gets points and all that.
Yeah, because they have this thing called the Joker, right? Where you have to take the Joker.
Yeah.
Yep.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, the road splits into one bit is a little bit longer. It takes a little bit longer to do it than the others. It introduces a bit of strategy because the races are so short that you can't really have pit stops. So they've introduced strategy in other ways. So for example, if you're stuck behind traffic, you might want to take the Joker lap and hope that you come out and you've got a clean road ahead of you, like what Chris has here. And then you can set some really fast times. And then when the other guys come in, they can they'll do their jokers, but because they've been battling each other, they've been slowing each other down, you might come out ahead.
I see.
And the merge for a joker is one of the most exciting things as well, because you've got one car coming up the left lane, he's going flat out, and then one coming out the right, flat out. It's like, who's going to get it? And sometimes they smack into each other in the middle because they're not aware that, oh, there's a car right here, which is...
Yeah, it's really good. And in the game, what's one of the core additions, if you run an actual, full Rallycross event, you can do a practice session. And within the practice session of Dirt Rally 2.0, you can run joker laps. And if you do that, the game, through how quick you are through the joker, will basically give a delta, a time difference between what it is to take the joker in a lap and what the time wouldn't be if you didn't take the joker.
Okay.
So it gives you an idea before you jump into actual races of, okay, how much time am I going to lose or gain depending on the circuit if I go through the joker? So it adds a bit more sort of depth to the tactics and preparation of everything.
Another thing that leads into as well is that Rallycross events, because there's so much happening around you and also away from you, and you're on your own, you don't have an engineer per se like you do in Formula 1 that's giving you all the data, but you do have a spotter who in this game is voiced by Neil Cole, who shout out to Neil, who's also doing a lot of cool stuff in general. He also is a massive Dirt Rally fan. He keeps posting GIFs and clips on YouTube, which is all good fun. But the delta time, for example, influences where you could potentially come out of in the joker lap. So Neil will tell you, okay, if you take it now, you're guaranteed to make these two positions. So now is a good time to take it, or maybe wait for the next one. Maybe wait for the next lap and do it then. And there's a lot of nuanced strategy to this, even if sometimes it's a bit elbows out.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good mixture of pure action, but a bit of strategy thrown in as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So getting a bit of a groove now and trying to shave a little bit of time off of what I think I set on lap 2.
Low 36.
So much time can be gained in this first corner or lost if you get this wrong. So
you got
throw it in.
That's pretty good. That was
Not too deep.
Not
too deep.
bad.
There's an apex in there somewhere.
Yes. If you get the binoculars out, you can see the apex there somewhere. Still just behind the ghost.
Yeah.
3 laps to go.
One of our guys on the forums, his name is Steve. He's one of the most active guys in the dirt forums, but he also goes to various motorsport events in the UK and takes really good photos. And I remember seeing one photo in the Rallycross thread it was from the 2018 season with Kristofferson and Solberg in that pretty much unbeatable PSRX Volkswagen, which you can drive in game. It's in the 2018 section. But you get to this corner, and he's full speed through it, and Steve took the photo where he's skimming the inside of that barrier.
Yeah.
He's absolutely skimming it, and it looks so good. Like, the level of precision that the top drivers have is absolutely crazy.
It is. It's absolutely stunning. And I showed the complete opposite of that in that last lap. So I've got one more lap to try and get under a 36.1.
Send.
Oh, different tactic there.
Better.
That was in 2 stages.
It was, yeah. I basically took 2 corners there.
Previously on turn 1.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Almost dead level with my ghost.
Yeah, you're doing alright.
You almost got a break as soon as you hit the ground on the off the jump there. Still behind.
The Rallycross cars sound so good as well.
They do, absolutely.
Especially when they launch, like...
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give Chase Cam a go on this one as well, because you get a better picture of the...
Also, you can see the edges.
Yeah, you get a picture of the course here.
Yeah, okay, I think my fastest lap, if we check, might have been on that final lap. Check.
Your best is a 35.8.
Nice.
Just got under on that last go. 35.8. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, come on then.
Okay, James, you gonna have a go?
Let's do it.
Okay, so you said you're going to try out Chase Cam?
Yeah, I'm going to give Chase Cam a go with this one.
So you just hit restart and go, I think.
Yeah, it seems like a more effective...
So your first lap is always from a standing start, so you basically treat it
so
as a dry run. So.
Yeah. Sorry, you got another 7 to go. But also, another benefit of using Chase Cam for Rallycross is, unlike in Rally, where it's you and the road and the stopwatch and the legend Phil Mills, it's Rallycross tends to have, depending on the heat, it has either 5 or 6 cars in a race. So you're fighting with cars that are pretty much as close as this. So a chase cam might actually be more useful there. So you can see the cars on either side of you and either give them space or deny them space, depending on how aggressive you want to be. And because a little bit of contact is allowed in Rallycross, and it's somewhat encouraged. Not that much contact.
Oh my god, the bonnet.
Oh, shout out to Hansen.
Oh my god, what's going on?
Ooh.
Right,
I got
use this lap as a mulligan and rebuild for the next few.
I just thought I might have a puncture.
No.
That was an excuse I was trying to come out with.
You can get punctures in Rallycross.
Takes some doing, but you can. Okay. That's right. This is the joy of this sort of time trial mode, is that you can just, this one's a mulligan, you can just move on to the next one.
Yeah.
The thing you were talking about how chase cam can help, because the action in races can be so tightly packed. That's why in real life and in Dirt Rally 2 you've got a spotter as well, haven't you? That can help sort of pick out, you got this person over here, or you're clear over here. They can. There's your puncture! No! You think you've got that's the puncture you were asking for. No!
I may as well put it here. There's no way over there.
What is it with you and the rear left tires? You just don't like it in any car.
This is awful.
I mean, at least you can't fall off a mountain here. Yet.
Oh, it's quite unfortunate.
So this circuit is oh boy.
Just showing off for the crowd now. Just throwing donuts out.
Instant donuts.
Yeah.
So this you see the Silverstone wing there.
Yeah.
That's where the paddock is and where the Formula 1 paddock is as well. But this doesn't use any of the F1 road. This uses the Stowe circuit, which is kind of the Silverstone circuit. If you imagine it like a rectangle, then it's like a rectangle in a rectangle. And a lot of like the tarmac section here is used for things like karting. It's used for some of the lower series, some grassroots motorsport.
Yeah.
But they converted this into Rallycross for here by adding a little dirt section with a jump and a lot of things that James can hit into.
It's really good. You're right. When we went to see it last summer for Speed Machine, it feels purpose built. It doesn't feel tacked on. It feels like a venue within Silverstone that's purpose built and ready for something like that. There's grandstands built for it. There's great sort of viewing areas all the way across the track. You can go right the way. We're basically at the back of the circuit here, and you can walk around to the back and see what's going on. So,
oh my god!
And it's one of the cool things was that the entry to the circuit for the whole weekend meant that you had to actually walk across the main straight for the international circuit.
Oh, they had it open. Nice.
Yeah. So you basically walked through the gates and walked across the starting grid, which was really cool. Like, you watch so many races in real life there. So
James, you might want to do it.
I'm just enjoying all these donuts. It's making me a bit dizzy.
It's I said I wanted to use the chase cam.
That was a bold strategy.
I think that's where I'm going wrong.
You're chasing the camera, all right?
The camera's going faster.
A 42. Considering is decent going, considering you got 3 wheels on the wagon. So.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's just no traction. As soon as you get that puncture,
as soon as you turn,
that's it. Like
you pretty much
donuts aren't intentional.
You pretty much have to turn left while turning right.
Yeah. That's it. That's
no!
Going 0 miles an hour there. I still feel like I've got no traction.
Yeah.
This is painful to watch.
I'm taking the Joker.
I think so. The thing with you were taking the Joker. So the thing with Rallycross is because you have so much power underneath you.
Oh, 600.
Yes, but the goal is basically to find a way of controlling that power as much as possible, because it's so easy to overshoot corners and to miss your apexes like I did in my run, just because of the amount of power you've got underneath you. So it's about finding your brake points really early, using the handbrake to angle your car so you're basically accelerating out the corner before you hit the apex.
Yeah, they're all-wheel drive and really light as well. Did you know these accelerate faster than the Formula 1 car?
Yeah.
So if you did a drag race between an F1 car and a Rallycross car, for like the first 200-300 meters, the Rallycross car wins.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then once it gets longer, the F1 car obviously has more top speed and twice as much power and all sorts, but this is rapid. And I know...
when I'm driving it, it
was rapid. But I know, for example, for the future seasons of the real world Rallycross, they're transitioning into electric Rallycross.
Yes.
And the thing with electric motors is they give you all the power immediately. Yeah. So they're going to go even faster, which is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible to see. And when you're there in real life watching events like this, the rate of acceleration just blows you out. And the noise of these things as well, it's just deafening in a good way.
Yeah.
It's
like these are the most powerful cars in the game.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So we've got another lap to go after this. Let's see if James can pull off an absolute miracle.
If I can get anything under a minute, I think.
Well, your best is a 42.
Yes. So you're in safe hands there.
Yeah.
Nice. Love it.
It's so bizarre. I have to do the donut to get around the corner.
Okay.
Is this like Zoolander where you can't turn left?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So one to go.
Oh,
Keep it going.
Oh,
nearly. Oh,
it's ridiculous.
Right, Hodgson bucket.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay.
Oh boy.
Send it. There we go.
There you go. Another one for the crowd. The problem is, like, I can actually turn left fine. It's turning right that's the problem.
Yes.
This is all right.
So if we were on an anti-clockwise circuit,
I'd be killing it. Like,
He's got the little instruments are lighting up there as well.
oh
Yeah,
no, the engine's gonna
the
blow off.
dash is yelling at him as well.
When you blow an engine in a 6-minute race.
Come on, a couple more corners to go.
This is not the
Tease
fault
it.
of the car. This is volume.
Oh, I know.
So before anybody, anybody gets any
It
ideas,
became my fault when I blew the puncture.
Yeah.
because
Or when you decided to use chase cam.
No, even the replay has no idea what it's doing. That's amazing.
because we know the Peugeot 208 is an absolute beast of a car,
Yes.
and you ruined it, James.
Ruined it.
That wasn't a good advert, was it? Yeah.
No, I'll try. Oh, there's a scent.
That one I had 4 tyres as well.
World's most powerful lawnmower.
Yeah.
Therein lies the challenge of Dirt Rally 2.0. It's not your pick up and play games like other games that we
No,
create. We create games for
certainly
different
not.
purposes. You have to.
Ooh, lots
There's
of
a learning
gears here.
curve for sure. So
I'm not going to go cockpit.
no.
No, because I like being in the middle. And when you're in the cockpit in most cars, and in every car in this game, you are to the left or to the right, and it just messes with my depth perception. I'll probably get better at it over time, but
Yeah.
Unlike F1 cars, is what you're saying.
yeah, where you sit in the middle,
Yeah.
rev it, go!
And go.
Wrong gear, wrong button. I pressed the handbrake.
So what was my best time? 42.
A 42.
42.3.
Yeah.
If PJ can be on his first lap, I'll be very upset. It looks likely. Let's be honest.
Let's find out. But yeah, you'll see here that it's all about controlling the power of a car like this.
So this is what I was finding most difficult. I think is that I wasn't braking enough before hitting the handbrake. So I was hitting the handbrake too early, and then it was just sending the car into a spin because
There's no way to get traction.
that's it.
Right.
Yeah. So obviously, if you're doing it in manual or even in auto, you need to make sure you brake before you hit the handbrake. Otherwise, it's just going to go into a spin straight away.
Yeah.
And that's where I kept kind of messing up, really.
Yeah. So much of a lap in World Rallycross is spent sideways.
That's it.
Trying to get it through a corner, and when you're coming out of one corner, you're already trying to line the car up for the next one because of the amount of power you've got.
Skim the inside.
This is looking strong here already from.
I have to say, Chris, I was very impressed with your laps. Like, they were very clean. They looked good. Like, I mean, and
I got an advantage from being there last year. that was my
fair enough.
track
fair
guide.
enough. Yeah.
Rumor has it he was in one of the cars.
Yeah.
Taking notes. Yeah.
They put in a passenger seat inside.
Yeah. But PJ is getting closer and closer.
Yeah, and he's only had 2
I love
laps
that.
to get to grips as well.
Yeah.
And find the flow.
You need to get tidy through there. I was a little bit weak on the second half of that.
Yeah. It is, as soon as you come off of that jump, you've got to be slamming on the brakes. So.
There's only 0.009.
So close.
1/1000.
No. I'm looking for a clean sweep in this stream, so it's on the line here.
Oh, that means we need to do a second show.
That was really nice.
Okay, so it's close.
Look at
That one is sideways. Oh,
Oh
my god.
the apex is over there.
That was awesome.
Yeah, the things you can do in these cars on these circuits is absolutely incredible.
I think that's that section of corners there, Chris, is where you lost a bit of time.
It
so,
is, yeah.
And maybe this one as well.
Yeah. It's
Still hanging on. Like. So I noticed that, Chris, you're getting on the turn a little bit like earlier. It seems like
Okay.
PJ's waiting, I think, a bit more to kind of whip it round, whereas like you were going sideways earlier.
Yeah. I think you'll see that in real life rallycross as well. There's so many different lines that you can take on circuits like this because of the nimbleness of the car underneath
That's
you.
it.
Sometimes you have to take different lines because there's a car on the
You
inside.
can get out of the way.
That's it. Yeah.
Got 4 laps to go, including this one, and PJ is so close. That's a great line through there. That was really nice.
Remember, it was on your last one that you got this lap, so
It was.
I wouldn't be surprised if PJ does the same.
I should have been this 10th, so yeah, I'm this 10th. The Rallycross of Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2.0 is something that we've constantly got in our own office, just like on the go, just doing like time trial challenges.
That's it, all the time.
Setting little goals and challenges for our colleagues to beat, because it's just, you can just do this over and over again. And I want to already get back in and think, I could have just got another 10th off here, and just improve a little bit. So that's a decent one through there, nice and clean.
Oh, he's up green for the first time.
Some really sort of tight lines through there, which is really nice. Ooh. Just nipped ahead there, but he's got
a brilliant corner that you took there, Chris.
No.
Oh. Okay, 2 laps to go.
2 laps left.
I went flat through there, I was hoping. Connor's over there, PJ.
Feels like a good finale to end.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, we had the drama at Monte Carlo.
It's true.
But imagine this with 6 cars on track.
Oh!
You didn't see that.
Like, we're racing against a ghost here, and it's this exciting.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It was a beautiful line through there.
I want to take that line out to dinner, it's so good.
Oh, yeah. that was alright, that was pretty good. It's going to be really close.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh!
I can see him.
Yeah, he's still there. Last lap.
3/10. Come on. Well, that's a very different line.
That's a very different line.
It was good though. And he's got a really, really nice narrow line through there. He's a 10th up.
It's going to be close.
It's going. I can't take it. Beautiful line. Oh, just a little clip, but that's okay. You see that quite often.
Yeah.
This is where I'm weakest.
Let's hold it together. Come on!
Go sideways.
Hold it! Go for the line. Get your head. Yeah! Oh, thank God. Thank goodness for that. That was so good.
I was sweating bullets.
2/10 in it.
And we know what that means. That Chris now becomes the community manager.
I gotta take off the shirt.
Yeah, that's it. The ceremony.
Yeah. Sorry,
that was brilliant.
Passing of the shirt.
That's what I love.
Look at that, and we're only 2 seconds off the world record.
Yeah.
How can you gain another 2.5 seconds there? That's unbelievable.
insane.
It's probably in the tuning setup and everything else. And
yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's even more nuance that we haven't even jumped into
there is.
that we can really get into. And that's stuff like that we just did. That's why I love Dirt Rally 2.0, is because you can just set up these scenarios, and almost whatever you create, you can create this competitiveness and this drama that comes with whether you race against your friends like we have here, or you're racing against the globe on the leaderboards. There's always something you can strive to achieve, and that's really why I love a game like this.
Yeah, let me tell you one of those stories. So the H1 front-wheel drive class, it has. We're not going to drive this because we're nearing the end of the show, but I do want to show you the car just to illustrate the story. Oh, that Rallycross was intense.
It was.
Now imagine that times 6.
Yeah.
So if we got time trial, and I'm just going to go to any track, doesn't really matter because we're not doing it. So we have here the H1 front wheel drive cars. These are the slowest cars in the game.
Yeah.
They're your beginner cars. So when you're first starting out in the game, you get the Lancia Fulvia for free.
Sure.
You could also drive the Mini. Everybody loves a good Mini. And the DS automobiles, which oozes chic couture.
It is. It's a piece of art.
It's a piece of art. It's also a long piece of art. Some of the guys in the Dirt Rally Discord, for example, they affectionately call this part of the French Navy. So it's a lovely car, but it's not necessarily the quickest around a rally course. It can be if you put a lot of effort in. These guys did put the effort in. So when Finland came out, Finland Rally, they set a mission for themselves. Let's get a DS21 to the top of the board, right? So they took their DS21, got it to the board. 2 or 3 of them tried it, and then I saw that they were doing this, and I screenshotted the leaderboard and I put it up on their Twitter and was like, "Hey guys, the DS21 is invading the leaderboard. Let's see how many we can get at the top." Right. I checked back the day after. The top 20 entries on the board are DS21s.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
That community effort, they all bandaged together. I was like, man, we can do it. We can stretch out of this. They were sharing tuning setups and driving tips, and all sorts, and it was absolutely wonderful.
Good year as well, 1966. I don't know if you
Yeah,
spotted that one.
strong,
But yeah, the weight difference like between that and the other two was ridiculous. It was like
Twice as long.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh, brilliant! So it's been really cool, just sort of celebrating sort of the recent anniversary of Dirt Rally 2 2.0 to just see, like, even now the depth and the fun that's in there. Whenever you just want to jump in and just have some fun with Colin.
Yeah,
So,
and we got more stuff on the way. The Colin McRae Flat Out Pack is coming, and it comes with a new location, which is Rally Scotland. It comes with 2 new cars, but you'll also, on this main menu, I won't click again, but on this main menu you'll also see a new tab, which will have Colin McRae scenarios. That's essentially a Colin McRae story mode.
right.
It's 40
cool.
It's 40 challenges, all inspired by great moments in Colin's career, like for example when he took big damage in Argentina and he had to repair the car roadside by kicking it and beating a rock on the back of the Ford. I think it was a Ford Focus.
Right.
And he somehow managed to get the car going again and then get an important result that helped him towards like good results in that season. Then there's things like the when he was absolutely caning it in a Metro 6R4, which you might have seen in the announcement trailer, which was he wasn't actually competing in that rally. He was just the course car, just to go out and do a little bit of fun kind of thing. And he's there going full flat out.
Yeah. It's going to be brilliant in that Colin McRae expansion, the Flat Out expansion, to just recreate the career of a racing icon that's defined so much of not just what the franchise is about, but what the company of Codemasters is about and the legacy of Codemasters. So it's going to be brilliant.
I mean, Dirt used to be Colin McRae Rally.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be great. So I hope you guys have had fun.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a right laugh.
I need to improve.
This is what it's going to be now.
Before we end, by the way, there is a trial available for this on Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah, you can play it for free.
Give it a go. And also it's on the Xbox Game Pass.
Yep.
And if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can play on PC too.
Yes.
Yep.
So give it a go.
So anyone can jump in, basically.
That's it.
And also, if you're on Steam or Oculus, you can play it in VR, which is a whole another world of scary.
I can't even fathom it. Well, I've done it, and I still can't wrap my head around it. So,
Terrifying.
Brilliant. It's been brilliant, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks all for joining us.
Farewell, guys.
See you later.
Cheers.